Shalom, Israel, and hello, world. Today we're talking Ruach UnChained, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and everything that it can do for Yasharahla. I'm sure by now you've heard of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe a lot of other popular cryptocurrencies. We have our own cryptocurrency made purely for Yasharahla. And we're going to also be answering some questions on who is Yasharahla, in fact, the chosen people spoken of in the Bible, and who those people are today. But more so, we're going to be getting into the cryptocurrency and blockchain conversation because we need to start to advance this conversation forward on not only who we are, but what we can do for ourselves to get to the next level. Truth's been getting out lately, and a lot more people actually know who we were, the African Americans. Let's just talk about African Americans, Haitians, and Jamaicans, let's say, for right now. Three of the tribes, which anciently used to be the original people, the original bloodlines of the land we call Israel today. Okay? So, for a quick breakdown here. In 70 AD, Jerusalem is invaded by Rome. All right. Now, a large amount of people actually fled from Israel into Africa through a tunnel. I ended up finding a tunnel, connected a bunch of details. It looks like we actually fled through this tunnel into Africa. And that's how we actually ended up there. Now, the nation known as Rome, they're the ones who actually invaded Jerusalem. Okay. Rome ends up taking a whole bunch of other lands, all right, one of them called Britannia, which will become Great Britain, okay, another called Hispania, which will become Spain, another called Gaul, which will become France. These countries, after the collapse of Rome, similar to, let's say, if America was to collapse, Texas, California, and New York will be left behind as independent nations of their own. Well, in the same fashion, Rome collapsed and left England, France, and Spain. And these are the countries that ultimately end up chasing down the escaped Jews, taking their identities, and then bringing them through the transatlantic slave trade or the African diaspora, as we call it today. Those people who were taken into that were actually anciently of Israel, and were only able to be taken because they were feuding with the people that they ended up meeting after leaving Israel after the 70 AD invasion. So voila, okay, now we end up here in America. We're taken, we flee from Israel, end up in Ghana. England comes around. England, who used to be Britannia, who, was conquered by Rome. This is why they're coming for us in the first place. All right. So you can see how all this ties together. All right. So 400 years later, the Bible actually predicts that we would end up coming back into the truth of our identities. We would figure out just all kind of stuff. Says we'd be taken, into a land, serving them for 400 years. Afterwards, we were coming out with great substance. What is this great substance? I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you with just a great confidence here. But what I can tell you is, very conveniently around this time, we end up with the cryptocurrency space. What is cryptocurrency? What is blockchain? Okay, and now we come into what is Ruach UnChained and what can it do for Israel? Here we go. All right, so blockchain is like the next level of the internet, right? So when we're on a website, let's say Facebook, Facebook is actually just a set of code that is interpreted a certain type of way by your computer. And when the code is run inside your computer, it knows what to put on the screen, it knows what sounds to play, it knows that type of thing based on the code that is stored in a particular person's computer. Now, this code is only stored in one person's computer. This is what makes it called what we call centralized, okay? Because it's in one central location that this code is stored, and that is the code to run Facebook. Now, us as Facebook's users, we're gonna come in and we're gonna access. We basically use our computer to access their computer and bring that code onto our screen, and that is all synchronized in the way that we end up experiencing based on the code that's written. All right, that's how all that works on a centralized internet platform. Blockchain comes in to sort of change the game here. It makes it to where, let's say I wanted to have a website stored on a blockchain, we're going to store that code on all of the servers, on all of the computers that are participating in this, in this network, right? But we can make it to where only one person or the only authorized people can access the file based on what wallet address is accessing the file. We'll get more into this. We'll explain a little bit more deeper wallet addresses and how all that works, exactly how that's possible. We'll get into all that, okay? But I just want you to know those basic things, okay? We're going from accessing things in one server to storing them identically in all the servers. And ultimately what this does is it makes the information indestructible, because let's say you destroy one computer in that network, it doesn't matter. If you destroy the computer that Facebook is stored on, well, all of Facebook's users are affected by such an event. Now, upon hearing about this, I thought this sounds like an amazing piece of technology that can really benefit my people. I mean, we've been invaded, chased around the planet. We've been, mistreated, our documents burned, altered, stolen. We've been through a lot here. So a decentralized system like this sounds like something that was pretty much made for us now, doesn't it? One of blockchain's main advantages is what they call immutability, or the fact that you can't change a file, let's say that's stored in one of these servers, you can't change it just on that. You would actually have to change it in all of the servers in order to hack a system like this. This does great things for us, A decentralized system for a nation of people that has been decentralized. We've been scattered by way of the so-called African diaspora to all parts of the earth. And this would be a beneficial way that we could actually link our people back together and have a single system that only we have. We can store our ancient documents. We can actually mint up our birth certificates and death certificates, marriage certificates. We can mint these things up in the form of NFTs. So we're talking about creating a whole new type of system for ourselves, of ourselves. Now, like I said, most of us are very much so familiar with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. But I want you to think of it like the calculator app on your phone, right? The calculator app on your phone is just made, to utilize numbers. It's the most basic, operation that a computer can do is mathematics. It's just computing numbers, right? Cryptocurrency is the same concept, but applied onto a blockchain instead of just a simple computer system. We're talking about a network of computers now doing numerical operations, like the calculator app on your computer. Those numerical operations now more so apply to the accounting of value and money. Converting, let's say the worth of this dollar into whatever the worth of this Bitcoin or this amount in Bitcoin, right? You're just really converting values and keeping track of it via this computer system now. And the computer system itself is able to generate its own values. So that's kind of the concept of cryptocurrency. It's the most basic thing you can store on a computer server. Now, there's 1,000 and more applications and different things we can actually do with this. Okay, now this doesn't stop at finance. It doesn't stop at just passing numbers back and forth. We can store, a video game is nothing but code anyway. Keep in mind, a video game is code. So if you stored that code on multiple systems that are all, or multiple computers that are all communicating with each other and keeping track of that whole thing, now you just have a video game situated on a blockchain. All right. And all the different ways you can find to implement a blockchain into our everyday lives, we now have a blockchain to do that, Israel. So this blockchain in itself, it's only going out to the people who know themselves as Israelites and the people who are Israelites. All right, we're not passing this to anyone outside of that, and that's how this can remain as a national chain or even a government chain. If we wanted to program voting systems into it, what's the best move for Israel to do next? We can program it right into the blockchain, have people voting right through their phones, and it'll be a closed system that only we have. All right. So those are kind of the advanced things that can be done here. Like I said, birth certificates, marriage certificates, video games, and anything we choose to do there. The next thing up, right? Social media, because there's this thing called Web3. I want you to look into that too. Now, Web3 is going to remove all the sign-in stuff, right? Like when you have to type in your email into social media, when you got to type in that password. Well, there's this thing called hashing that the crypto or the blockchain actually uses to get its operations done. Whenever you create your own wallet, your wallet address is this hash, this long string of numbers and letters, and it is unique to your wallet, and only your wallet has it. Only your wallet will ever generate it. For this reason, it can be used as your sign-in. So let's say we have an app that has your cryptocurrency wallet in it. It can go looking for that particular address and sign you into the correct profile, based on the hash number that was provided by the wallet itself. So this is where we're starting to get into exactly how this can make our lives so much easier, how it provides more security, and how we have a network just to ourselves that only we can actually have entry into, because we're the only ones with the wallets, and the wallets cannot be recreated, reproduced from the outside. They have to actually be generated from the system itself. Now, I would like you guys to keep in mind all of this stuff, all these possibilities are just possibilities until we get to work and make them happen. This is not quite like having Ethereum, but it's just like having Ethereum, because Ethereum was already built up by the world. The world got to come together and say, you know what, we're all going to program our apps around this one system. All right. Now, Israel has its own system, and it's starting from the point that, let's say, Bitcoin Core was at. So when Satoshi first created Bitcoin, it only ran on Windows. It was just for the Windows computer, right? And there are no cell phones at that point running Bitcoin wallets. So you had to send your Bitcoin from computer to computer. It would never work to actually go into your cell phone. That is the level that Ruach UnChained is currently at. I'm currently working on a wallet myself. It's called the Kingdom Connect wallet. It's gonna integrate a lot of different functionalities just into this one project. But I'm currently working on that now, so that still needs to be done. There are, it's plenty room for more people to program more wallets. Program your own idea. Get your own thing in on this. Everything from exchanges, everything from DeFi, decentralized finance, those exchanges like Pancake Swap, Uniswap on Ethereum. These things were programmed by someone. Someone had to go do that, okay? All of our stuff has to be done by us because, home field advantage, also home field responsibilities. So we have to get it done, guys. So let's get started. Now, on top of Ruach UnChained, I also created a CBDC, or it's called a central bank digital coin, okay? This is what all the world banks are looking to do. You know, there's going to be a digital yuan, right? A digital dollar. Well, Yasharahla, you know, it did say the last shall be first. We were the first ones on this one. We have a coin called the Kingdom Coin. It was created on Binance Smart Chain. Now, having to create the Kingdom Coin on Binance Smart Chain is ultimately what led me to have to create the Ruach UnChained network. Because it was like the second I made Kingdom Coin, I'm like, all right, so that's great. We have our own coin, but unfortunately, it's on someone else's turf. I mean, Binance Smart Chain created by a Chinese man, and you know, no disrespect to the Chinese, but hey, we're Israel. We need our own stuff, and so I immediately got to work on that. All right. Now, the advantage to having this BEP20 token, as they call it, so the BEP20 token is based on the ERC20 token, which was created on Ethereum. Ethereum or ERC20 is basically the standard. It's the style the code is written in. And this is basically how, how they program all their tokens on all these various networks. A token is something of a lesser level. I don't want to say lesser level. A token is basically like a crypto coin that cruises on the back of another crypto coin's blockchain. So Ethereum has its own coin, but Shiba Inu is a ERC20 token that can be sent up and down the Ethereum network. So it utilizes their infrastructure. So basically, the Kingdom Coin, for now, utilizes Binance Smart Chain's infrastructure. The beautiful thing about this, though, we can transfer it from the Binance Smart Chain network to, let's say, Harmony One. We can transfer from Harmony One to, any other smart chain or smart contract platform. Smart contract is what they call these tokens. So that type of token is considered what they call a smart contract. It's a piece of code coded together on top of a blockchain. Like I said, this stuff starts to get a bit complex for people who've never really stepped into the space, but spend a little time and this stuff gets very familiar. I am aware that a lot of us are new to the cryptocurrency space, blockchain space, and that's okay. This is probably a ton of information, so I'm going to wrap it up here. But in the future, I will be doing videos about how blockchain works, how the hashing function actually works, how these algorithms work, what is SHA-256, we'll actually be going into even more about the crypto space. Let's talk about other cryptocurrencies that are also beneficial to Israel. I just want you guys to know that this one exists. It is yours, and it's already ready to go. We just need to actually program our other stuff around this particular blockchain. Get into the blockchain space, learn what that means, and we can go ahead and get this done. So again, this is Sav Solomon, creator of the Ruach UnChained blockchain and the Kingdom Coin, CBDC, for Israel, Yasharahla, the true chosen people of the Bible, the blacks, natives, and Latinos, Negroid. So, all right, we'll talk more.